The word declares it. For this reason, for the reason of marriage, shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave. It's so much in that word cleave. To his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. We got to get on one accord. It is not an overnight process. It's an everyday process. I get up and I work at it every day. And she'll come and tell me stuff about myself that I just got to sit there and look dumb like. I know that if I respond now, Sasha, I promise you it's going to be everything selfish. Or me. Case in point, when was it? Last year, babe? When we got into the last, right? So Faith came to me and she said, yup, I see what you're doing. Yup, I love the lives you're changing. Jamal, she said, I love the work that you're doing. I see the spaces you're moving into. But do me a favor. Don't do it at the expense of my family. Now, Camille, you know, the little ego started rising up. And I wanted to, like, for real, respond in a way that was like, yo, you see what I'm out here doing? Come on, recognize what the kid is out here doing. We working. You see it. You see where it's so quick how we get full of our own spit. And you forget where you came from and who, right? Now, come on, boo. You see what I'm doing. Right? But I heard the Holy Ghost in the back of my head say, sit down, shut up, and just listen. And the more and more that, okay, boo, can you just come here for a moment? Yeah, because I don't, it's one thing if I tell it. So as I'm sitting there listening, right? Just tell me where it went from that point. Well, as I'm listening to you, yeah, come on.
Hi, y'all. So I came to him because I had noticed that he was spending a lot of time in his office and not a lot of time with us and the kids. And I knew that he was working extremely hard.
Okay? No, yeah, I'm good.
I knew that he was working extremely hard for the family, but we also needed our time with him. And so I work a 9 to 5. I'm in corporate banking. And when I come home at 5:30, I expect to spend time with my husband. And since I haven't seen him all day, and the kids also, they go to school. So, they come home and they want to also spend time with daddy. But the way his job is, the company, it requires him to be in the office in the evenings. And he has a lot of coaching sessions in the evenings. So we don't get to spend a lot of time with him in the evenings. And I said like he said, I said to him, I love what you're doing. I love that you're changing lives and that we're saving marriages and that all of this is going on, and you're providing this type of legacy for others, but don't do it at the expense of us and your kids, because children don't remember that. They remember that daddy was here, but he was always in his office. He was never with us. And me personally, growing up without a father, I didn't want my children to experience the same thing. And although my father wasn't in the house, and he is in the house, it would feel like the same thing to our children. And so I didn't want that for them. And also I, needed my quality time with him as well. And for him to not come out of his office till 9 o'clock at night, that just was not working for us. But when I said this to him, at first I was nervous to even say it to him because I knew how hard he had been working for the family. And I said, I'm going to say this to you. And before I even came to him, I prayed about it because usually when I come to him, he would get defensive. And he would come out with all the, and you don't know what I'm doing, and blah, 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 and just get very defensive about it. So I prayed about it before I came to him. And he did just that. He just sat down and said, is that really what I'm doing? And I said, yes, that's exactly how you're doing, and this is how I feel about it. And, he said, well, how can I fix it? Or how can we fix it?
Yeah.
Let's fix it. And so, what we ended up doing was fixing his calendar in a way where he would have quality time with his children, and he would have quality time with me. And so we blocked off times where he would have specific times every single day with each of our children, and then a specific time just for me. And now that seems to work, but my whole point in saying that is that I left there that day thinking, what just happened? Like, I was expecting a certain result because that's how he always was very defensive. And when I didn't get that, I was blown away, and I was like, wow. I'm like, this praying thing helps. But anyway, not only that, but I saw the change in him, in how he reacted to me, and ever since then, now I feel more comfortable in coming to him and expressing how I feel, even when it's not, what I'm about to say to him is not a positive thing. I can come to him because I know that he's going to sit and listen and not get defensive, and not have the clap back, which is what we call it, mm-hmm. The clap back. So, yeah, it was definitely a positive experience.
Mm-hmm. So what Faith is saying, right? So what Faith is in essence saying is that the best gift that you can give your spouse is your transformation.